First of the preliminary finals to be played in the VFL in 2012 between the old rivals Port Melbourne and Williamstown. David Rees-Jones, we came to the ground expecting a great classic confrontation, and for the most part we got one between two very desperate teams with high stakes.
Yeah, and this is probably an example, this goal here, which Port Melbourne getting the ball out of the centre. They just, their centre backs, they just killed Williamstown in that area. But look, two of the real powerhouse teams in the VFL, and they put on a classic contest. There was nothing given either way, and it was just a fantastic game to watch.
First couple of minutes, it didn't look as though it was going to be that way because Port came out of the blocks. They kicked 2 goals in the first 2 minutes. They had 4 goals to 1 on the board by 23 minutes, and Williamstown just didn't seem to have the intensity that you would have expected from them in a preliminary final early on.
Yeah, and what will disappoint them will be those centre breaks and their lack of contested ball early on. We see a good goal there by Billy Burston, but look, Port Melbourne did look like they were going to dominate the game, but to Williamstown's credit, they fought back hard and really were in the contest for most of it.
Important goal here by Brett Goods. This was at the 25-minute mark of the first quarter, so it got 1 back. They trailed by 13 points at quarter time, and then all of a sudden a really bad error, well, 2 really bad errors from Ryan Gale. Williamstown gets the first couple. They got 3 of the first 4 in the second quarter, and they're back in business.
Yeah, and they really were a threat, and you know, we thought there could have been an upset on the cards, and this bloke, Fletcher Roberts, down forward, starting to pluck a few marks and kick a few goals. So yeah, it really was on. The game was on. The heat was right in the contest, though. Frost just couldn't hang on to that tackle, and Scipione was able to waltz through there. But they just kept coming back, Williamstown, and full credit to them.
Yeah, and at half-time, the margin was 12 points. So despite the fact that Williamstown had a good quarter, the only thing that they were able to do was to peg back 1 point of the Port Melbourne lead. That's how hard you have to do it against Port Melbourne. They just keep on coming at you, even when the other team's in the ascendancy.
Yeah, and we just watch. I mean, you know, the footy mightn't have been pretty to watch, but it was just classic finals football. The pressure was on every contest, and it was just contest after contest. Players putting their body on the line for their teammates. There's a terrific tap, third man up for Billy Burston to get it over to Toby Pinwell for a good goal, that one.
It was goal for goal in the third quarter. Galea got the first one, then Conway, then that goal we just saw from Pinwell. And then Fletcher Roberts came up with a really good contested mark and kicked beautifully. And still at this stage, the margin was 2 goals, but it is such a difficult thing to catch Port Melbourne. And when Billy Burston got a late free kick in the third quarter, they went to three-quarter time with a 16-point advantage. This was a big kick from Andrew Hooper.
It was, and he had a few shots at goal and missed them all today. So while he had a pretty good game, Andrew Hooper, his goal kicking was not great today.
And as it turns out, that kick from Andrew Hooper was Williamstown's only score for the term, just the one behind. It was Bonadio who got the first goal at the 13-minute mark. Brewer got the second and last goal at the 20-minute mark of the final term, and Port emerges victorious again on what was an emotional day for Miles Pitt after he lost his cousin John McCarthy earlier in the week. Massive numbers in favour of Port Melbourne. They had 88 more disposals. The inside 50s in the final term were 19-3, and they finish up running out victors by 34 points, 12-15-87 to 7-11-53. Willie bows out, and Port lives to fight another day. They go to the big one, the VFL Grand Final of 2012.